The Bride of Peladon, the 104th release of Doctor Who's main range of Big Finish stories, released on CD and download in January of 2008 across 4 parts. It was written and directed by Barnaby Edwards. And the story takes place on Peladon around 4035. Now, in terms of my favourite Third Doctor story, I tend to say The Curse of Peladon. Only it was a story that I found I enjoyed. I found I enjoyed both of the Peladon stories. I first became kind of aware of them via the Sarah Jane Adventures story Death of the Doctor, where both Jo and Sarah Jane had revealed to each other that they had visited the planet Peladon. And kind of going back and watching those two thanks to the Peladon Tales box set, I actually found I enjoyed both stories. I liked Curse a little more than I liked the Monster of Peladon, but anyway. The Bride of Peladon is a Fifth Doctor story featuring Peter Davison as the Doctor, Perry Brown, played by Nicola Bryant, and Big Finish exclusive companion Erimem, voiced by Caroline Morris. The story sees the Doctor and his companions, the Fifth Doctor and his companions, unwittingly return to Peladon via a crash landing, where they end up encountering a load of some familiar characters and some unfamiliar characters, including the Kev King, or one of the rulers at the time, Pelias, voiced by Christian Colson, his grandmother, who's trying to show him the way, Beldonia, played by Philidia Law, a princess sent from Earth to marry Pelias named Pandora, voiced by Yasmin Bannerman, and also the likes of an ice warrior named Zixlia, voiced by Nicholas Briggs, who seemingly discovers that Peladon was responsible for the death of his sister, and so he both claims to want revenge, but also wants to try and broker a relationship with Peladon. And we also get the return of fan favourite character Alpha Centauri, who in both the episodes from TV was shown to be like a giant eye with a very high pitched voice. Now, when the character was used in the TV show, she was voiced by actress Suzanne Churchman. And when they later brought her back for a brief cameo at the end of the 12th Doctor story, Empress of Mars, in 2017, they also did bring back Suzanne Churchman for that. However, in this particular story, Alpha Centauri is voiced by actress Jane Goddard. But at the same time, she does a good job kind of bringing back Alpha Centauri's kind of iconic high-pitched voice, and even some of the humour that came along with her. I mean, I also do like the relationship that she and the Doctor have. She acknowledges the Doctor looks different, but then admits he doesn't appear to have aged at all, whereas time has been less kind to her. It's like, oh, don't say that. It's like, I have crow's feet now, which is basically her giant eye getting kind of wrinkles at the side. They managed to make it good here, but ultimately the kind of humans and the Ice Warriors and Alpha Centauri, they eventually discover that there is another evil taking place upon Peladon at that time, and that's that Pandora, as well as Beldonia and some of the other kind of noble women of Peladon, had been lured here to release a being known as Sekhmet, voiced by Jenny Agutter. And Sekhmet is revealed to be another member of the Osirans, like who you may remember as the same creatures that Sutekh was a member of. Sutekh being a Doctor Who monster who appeared in the Pyramids of Mars and later The Legend of Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death in 2024, whereas the Pyramids of Mars, I think was 1975, but I'm not sure on that one, so don't quote me on that. And essentially she needs 4 nobles or 4 kind of kings, queens, princesses, and the like. Well, not kings, queens or princesses. Needs to essentially kill 4 noble women on Peladon in order to escape, and it's up to the Doctor and co to find a way to stop her. Now, this would ultimately be the exit story for Erimem, or Caroline Morris as Erimem, as at the end of the story, as the Doctor, Perry and Erimem are preparing to leave, Erimem reveals that she actually is going to stay, and that Pelias proposed to her back in the corridors, and she tells the Doctor that while she has enjoyed her time with him, she knows that she is meant to be a ruler. Like, that's where she came from on Earth. She was a member of royalty in ancient Egypt all those times, and here, if she becomes Peleus's wife, then she can help guide him and ultimately make Peladon into a better place. To which it's a sad moment for the Doctor and Perry. And I do love that Perry says to her, she gives her a hug and says to her, look, we're going to be coming back at some point, and when you do, I expect to be able to meet my nieces and nephews that you have with him. You're going to be a great mother, but I expect you to do right by them. Understand? Like, absolutely. And I do also like the little kind of joke they throw in or hint at Perry's eventual fate. Because at the end of the story, she and the Doctor are walking back to the TARDIS, and she says they're both talking about how much they're going to miss RMM, and the Doctor reveals he misses all of his companions. Like, some will stay for a while and then eventually move on, but when they eventually do move on, he's sad for a little while. To which Perry then says to him, "Well, I do know one thing. When when I eventually go move on, it won't be because I married a prince or married a king." To which that's kind of a nice little dig or a nice little hint at her eventual fate at the end of the Trial of a Time Lord with the Sixth Doctor, where it's a little devious, but it's implied that she eventually married King Yrcanos. Either she died or she married King Yrcanos, played by Brian Blessed. So I do like that they have a little bit of a dig in there about that. Also, Thomas Brodie Sangster is also in this story as one of the miners, to which you might remember him. He played Timothy Latimer in Human Nature and the Family of Blood in 2007. So this was released in 2008, so this was after he played the role. So, hey nice to hear him back in a Doctor Who story. He will also later go on to have a very good career, including the likes of The Maze Runner, and he also voiced John in the CGI reboot of Thunderbirds, which, good for him. So, as I said, The Curse of Peladon and The Monster of Peladon are two of my favourite stories, and this, I feel, was a good story for me to kind of listen to in regard to Big Finish stories. I like this one, and it serves a good departure story for Arabem. I've still got more stories to listen to in the past from her, but this to me was a good story. Have a listen to yourself, The Bride of Peladon, and see what you think of it. Anyway, until next time, see ya.